Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode. We are almost at that magical century mark, episode 99 of the 815 Exchange, and my. That entertainment segment looks good tonight. Alright, I can't sing, so I'm not gonna, sing you all the pleasures of my sweet honey silk voice any longer. But ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another week. And yes, Chris, the only of the major sports playing right now, I guess of the three major sports, is baseball. And it's in the regular season, which is not always the most exciting part. But no, we still have stuff to talk about. No major UFC event, we still have stuff to talk about. Thankfully, we have the U.S Track Championships, and we also had, that little thing known as the NBA draft to talk about. So yeah, plenty of stuff here to talk about on the 815 Exchange. And of course, next week is a super massive milestone episode. Honestly, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be in the 704 for that, or if I'm going to be in the 336. We're either going to be live from the 336 like we were for the first episode, or we will be live from the 704. And I'm not quite sure which one it's going to be yet. But we'll figure it out. All right, we'll figure it out this week. And hopefully we can have something just a little special. Nothing too drastic I'm expecting. Just hopefully something a little special for you guys and for all the love you showed me. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. We are at exactly 700 subscribers, or we are very, very close. So, thank you. Yeah, that's cool. Episode 100, 700 subs. Pretty neat. And yeah, what else? As always, if you're new to the 815 Exchange, and if you are, you've been here, you've been around, you're a long-time viewer of the 815 Exchange, you know the drill. But for the new people, everything you're looking for is in the description, whether my social medias, timestamps, whatever you're looking for, it can be found in the description. Now, it has not been the greatest weekend in American history, but hopefully we can make the start of the new week here on this Monday, in which this is dropping, a little bit better. But I will say, even though I do not teeter off into politics, even though this is not, or really shouldn't be a political or a religious issue, Supreme Court got it wrong. You don't need me to say that. Yeah. Women should be able to decide what to do with their bodies. That's really all I need to say about that matter. It's not that intricate. Even me as a Christian, it's not that, it really has nothing to do with being Christian, so I don't know why my religion is being used in vain, but, it is what it is. But yeah, that needs to be reversed as soon as possible, and we need change, as we've been saying for years and years and years in this country. But women should be able to choose what to do with their body, and that's all that needs to be said about that. Now, for the pressing matters in the sports world, we are going to kick off. I don't even know what to kick off with, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. You guys probably want the NBA as the main event, I reckon, right? We can stick to how we've been going. We can stick to how we've been going, and that allows me to kind of bounce around here since I have this pulled up right now. And we'll start off with the U.S Track and Field Championships, which just concluded not too long ago. Now, we've had some very, very interesting things transpire over the past 4 days in Eugene, Oregon, at the illustrious, legendary Hayward Field. We've had some very, very, very interesting developments. Now, Sha'Carri Richardson is going to be the one you see on Twitter. It's going to be in all the headlines. I'm not here to bash Sha'Carri. I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to do that. Because in all intents and purposes, and I'm keeping this 100% with you guys, stop trying to push her, respectfully, as the face of women's track in the United States. Stop. Stop that narrative. Stop. Nothing wrong with supporting her. Nothing wrong with being a fan. But for all intents and purposes, the face, one of, not just for the women's side, but should be in the world, one of the faces of track and field is Sydney Mclaughlin, who, congratulations, about a month ago got married. Congratulations to Sid the kid, who's much no longer a kid. She is the woman. All right, she is the woman. She is her. By all means, The best in the world. The 400-meter hurdle queen broke, for a third straight final in a major competition, broke the world record again. And in fact, her world record time actually would have qualified for the finals in the Open 400. I'm dead serious when I believe Sydney Mclaughlin is probably the best 400-meter female runner in the world. If she's running elite level 400 times, Open 400 times in the 400-meter hurdles, imagine what Sydney could do taking all those hurdles away. She is the best in the world. She should be the face of American women's track. She's 22 years old and has broken the world record 3 times in 3 consecutive major competitions. She's an American gold medalist. She's Sydney Mclaughlin is her. She is her. 51-41 here at the American Championships. Britton Wilson, the NCAA champion, got second. But yes, Sid, the kid, she's going to the World Championships, and Lord knows she might be able to do it again. Kenny Harrison, got to give a shout out to some of these world leads going through here. Kenny Harrison got the world lead in the 100-meter hurdles, and also got another American championship to her name with the 12:34 world lead, also season's best. Mike Norman, world lead, facility record, season's best. 43.56 for the king of the 400, currently here in the U.S. Champion Allison and Randolph Ross, the 2 young bucks, weren't too far behind. Not that Mike is old. I mean, he's like, what? Mike is probably like 25. So, yeah, Mike continues his pursuit of greatness and hopefully, eventually, that 400-meter world record. Talitha Diggs from Florida. Gator Chomp. She wins the women's 400. Yeah, let's see. A big shocker in the men's 1500 earlier was Cole Hawker, the reigning American champ, not making it out of the first round. However, his former Oregon teammate, one of his bestest friends, Cooper Tier, held it down. He got the win there. Women's triple gem, Katura Orji. Before Jasmine Moore was there, it was the Katura Orji show, and she showed why. Meet record, season best, 14.79 in the triple. Men's hammer throw, Daniel Hogg won with that 80.18. I'm trying to find my guy. I'm looking for... I think he was in the first. Where is Ryan Cowser? Where is Ryan Cowser? Okay, thank you. World lead season best. I have to always look for Ryan Cowser because I just automatically assume Ryan's going to go for possibly the world record. He is the world record holder, if you didn't know, in the shot put. But on this day, him and Joe Kovacs will always go back and forth. But it was Ryan. World lead season best, 23.12. Jeez. All right, women's 200, it's the Abby Steiner show still. College, pros, doesn't matter. The girl from UK, 21.77 for Abby Steiner, world lead, and a personal best for her. Tamara Clark also did very, very well. Cambria Sturgis just outside Jada Pernini, I think, getting that last spot there. Men's 200, Noah Lyles is back. He is back. He is back. He is back. At 1967 for Noah. Gets him the win here in the American 200. Fred Curley. It was one of the best 400. For a period of time, we were talking about Mike Norman and Fred Curley, right? As the guys in the 400 and, this American Revolution. And then Fred was like, you know what? I'm feeling this 100. And, I mean, he qualified for 200, ran in 1983, by the way, and 200 here in the finals. But somewhere along the line around last year, Fred was just like, you know what? I'm a 100-meter guy. I'm going to try that. I'm going to do the 100. I think I can make something work. And now he's the fastest man in the world in the 100. He had the world lead in the first round. He got the world lead in the second round. And then he finished it up with, I think, a 9.77. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick from the Saturday results. But yeah, he's just ridiculous, man. He's ridiculous. He is ridiculous how much and it's not that, like, he took, like, this major jump. It was just like this natural progression. Natural progression, and Fred has just emerged as probably the favorite, one of the favorites in the men's 100. He's that guy. He's that guy right now. 9.77 in the final for Fred Curley. Yeah, Fred, he's the man right now. But yes, a very, very, very interesting, track and field championships. Had some upsets, had some, top people fall. Grant Holloway did not compete. I'm not sure why exactly. did not complete in the final of the men's 110. Christian Coleman didn't compete in the men's 200. Tara Davis coming off an injury, still dealing with that a little bit. Was basically not necessarily a DQ, but she fouled out. She fouled on all 3 of her long jump attempts, which was very, very surprising. But she kept pretty positive mind about it. So yeah, I'm sure Tara will be back. But yeah, a lot of interesting Shikari. A lot of interesting things happened, but you also saw kind of this evolution and kind of this change, true change of the era in track. Like it's a new gen. It's a new gen. They are here and they are taking over. So yeah, exciting times in American track and field. Heading over to the MLB because we do have some stuff to talk about in baseball. And we're going to kick it off by the unfortunate news for Philly fans, which is Bryce Harper's thumb. Blake Snell and Bryce Harper have played against each other since they were 10 and 11 years old, if you would believe it. But unfortunately, the friends now turned foes, even though it's not his big rival. I'm not going to blow this out of proportion. But Snell, one got away. Unfortunate. I hate it because, listen, Bryce Harper's dealt with so many injuries that have robbed us of the greatness that we've seen in the past 3 years of Bryce Harper. And, yeah, it just sucks. He's going to be out for a while. Any type of hand, finger, wrist, kind of arm injury always is a major deal in baseball because of how much hand-eye coordination affects a hitter and just having that grip. So, yeah, I hate it. Philly's been playing very well. Harper, of course, has been an MVP-level player. He won the MVP last year. Hate to see it. One of the best in the world, one of the most recognizable baseball players in the world, Bryce Harper, breaks his thumb. Speedy recovery to you, Bryce. Aaron Judge. We paid the man. Not the full contract, but we paid him enough for arbitration and avoided that. So thank God the future captain is still here. He is, of course, on pace for 60-something home runs. However, Shohei Ohtani is back on his worst behavior and is a little even better than he was pitching last year. Hitting, not quite as there yet, but he's been scorching hot, hitting 326. So the MVP race is heating up, but back to Judge. We took on our hated rivals, not the, Dead Sox, but the Astros. And started off great, walked them off, and then Jose Altuve did Jose Altuve stuff. And now the game's going on right now. I do not have my phone on me right now, so it could be over. It could be over right now. It was in the 10th, so I do not know. But, yeah, Astros were kind of striking back. Hopefully we were able to close it out with the win. Of course, that's going to be a team we're going to probably have to play. Astros been one of the best teams of this kind of era, generation, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, us and them have been kind of consistent in the American League. And we're playing very, very well. If we want to be, what our record says to be, we have to beat teams like the Astros. So, yeah, back and forth series. Judge got paid. Not the full thing, but he got paid nonetheless. Now to head over to entertainment. And, oh, my goodness. Do I have an entertainment segment for you, ladies and gentlemen? First, kicking off with Durk returning with that 722, 7220 Deluxe, which feels kind of weird, especially as we were getting Deluxes much faster, and then we had the 7220 kind of reload, if you know what I mean. We kind of had that like reload. But nonetheless, I ain't complaining. I am not complaining. We got it back. All right, and yeah, standouts from, of course, I'm not giving this a rating, even though it definitely did enhance the album. I am not giving this Deluxe a rating, even though it can basically be its own separate album. We're gonna give it for Giveon, and we'll talk about that, but we're not gonna give it for this. But Burglars and Murderers, I remember. Let's see. So I mean, straight off the bat, second song in, that was fire. Burglars and Murders, I remember. Hear it back. It was just a lot of quality stuff. It was a lot of quality stuff. Even the one I think I did in playlist, which was Unhappy Father's Day, was not that bad. I saw some people rocking with that. So no complaints there. Smurkio did what he did. He did what he did. He did what needed to be done, and yeah, I think he delivered. I would go as far as saying he delivered. And yeah. Good stuff. If you haven't listened to it, I would highly recommend listening to Durk's new album. Well, not new album, but the Deluxe, because it was very, very good. Giveon. It was a big weekend for R&B with that verses between Omarion and Mario putting him in just the grave, and then Boog putting Omarion. It was just a rough week for Omarion, but it was a big week for R&B. Chris Breezy also dropped. I did not listen to that, so I do not have an album review. All purposes, I heard it was very good. If you did listen to Breezy's album, feel free. I think it was actually called Breezy, so yeah, feel free to let me know what y'all were thinking about that. But I did listen to Giveon's Give or Take. He just doesn't miss. He really doesn't miss. He's just incapable of missing. Missing is not something that is given Giveon's vocabulary. Now, at a point in time in this album, it was sitting on a 10. I'm not gonna lie. Do about the first Aitch, it was sitting on a 10. A perfect 10. But, you know, trying to come back. I haven't gotten around to that second listen, but I'm going to give it a preliminary. I feel pretty confident giving like a 9.1. We're going to give it a 9.1. It could be higher, or it could sit. I don't think it's going to go much longer. I might go back to a 9, but I think it was definitely in the album of the year conversation. Definitely in that upper echelon of albums I've heard, especially recently, even though we've had a good quality of albums recently, and really this year. But this is definitely going to sit in that upper echelon. Dude is just, his voice is ridiculous. And the production on this album was phenomenal. So putting the right beats behind his voice is a cheat code. It makes for good music. Good music, and yeah. It's nice to see this little revival. Of course, Brent dropped also this past weekend, but it was an old song, so I'm not going to give it to you, Brent. Stop doing it. Give us new music. I know the album's coming, I think, next week. I think it's next week. It might be this week, actually. But I think it's next week. But nonetheless, R&B is back. Giveon delivered, give or take, very good. And with that said, we're still not done. We're still not done with music. Why? Because we're going overseas. We're going to the UK. We're going to Britain. We're going to England. Because my gosh, if you follow me on IG, I posted this on my story. Dave Santan. My 24th birthday. By the way, happy birthday, Santan. 24th birthday. What? It's just, he's one of the best in the world, regardless of country, regardless of nationality. He is one of the best in the world. It's not up for debate. It's not up for debate. Not with me. You're not going to debate me on this. One of the best. In terms of bars, in terms of just, he is one of the best in the world, and it cannot be debated. It cannot be debated. He is that guy. He is that guy. My 24th birthday, what a reflection. His storytelling abilities, his lyricism is on another level, and it's been proven time after time after time after time after time after time again. Now, if you don't listen to British rap, or you can't get past the accent, listen to Dave. Listen to Dave. If you are a hip-hop fan, if you're a rap fan, you will get over the accent, all right? You will be able to get past that and put yourself on to some great music, because Dave is one of the best rappers in the world, and that is undisputed. Happy birthday, Dave. Now, one of the beautiful things about doing this kind of while things are going on is sometimes you can get live reactions when things happen. So you remember, I don't know, last segment, if you didn't use timestamps to skip ahead, how I was talking about the Yankees and, you know, maybe like Judge or somebody comes through. He had a walk-off home run, I believe. Yeah, walk-off home run by Aaron Judge. What more can I say? Well, he is the king of New York. He is the king of New York. He's the king of New York. But back to the entertainment segment, because Aitch dropped also. And Aitch, of course, he's got the album coming very soon. I do not know if we have a release date for that yet. But yeah, that's supposed to be coming very soon. I am very excited for that. But Aitch back again with another single, In Disguise. It was good. It was very good. All of his singles so far for this album have been good. And they've all sampled a little something different. Showed off a little something different of his sound. And I'm enjoying that versatility. And showing that off in singles can show to me that this might be a special album. This could be a very special album. Now Aitch is very highly regarded, especially out in Britain. Not as much so, you know, known, I guess, in the US. Even though he's known a little bit. But only to guys fans of the British, you know what I mean? But this album could. This album very well could continue to push him towards, you know, from just being a star to like a superstar. So Aitch, keep doing what you're doing. In Disguise, very good song. Like I said with my 24th birthday, go listen to it. Go check it out. Even if it's not what you usually check out, we're all about versatility. We're all about diversity here on the Ifs Exchange. Go check it out. It's quality stuff. I'm giving it the cosign. Go check it out. Now, Telly, because we're still not done with this entertainment segment. It's still not. I know. This is supposed to be the home of sports. Well, sports and entertainment. But it's about 50-50 today. All right? I'm not going to lie. It's about 50-50. It's about 50-50, and it probably could be longer for entertainment, but I cut a little bit of it down. But The Boys, Herogasm. Now, if you've read the comics of The Boys, you know about Herogasm. And I cannot truly really elaborate a lot about the comics version of Herogasm because this would be demonetized so fast. This video would get YouTube would demonetize this video so fast and put an upper 18 restriction on this video if I talked about the comics version of Herogasm. Now, the television version of Herogasm did not live up to the raunchy and just the Lord, jeez, all right, didn't live up to that. But it was one of the best episodes in the show's history. It was a great episode. It wasn't as, just despicable, degrading, just disgusting as it was hyped. I mean, we still had love sausage. We still had a giant superhero orgy. YouTube, please. But it wasn't, compared to some of the other stuff we've seen on this show, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. However, the storytelling in the show was great. We finally got it. All right, similar to the girls get it done versus Stormfront, we got the guys get it done this time. Souped up Butcher, souped up Huey, and Soldier Boy taking on Homelander. And for the first time in Homelander's life, he is bruised and battered. He was getting the work. Now, he was getting his licks in, but he was getting worked. And he was on the verge of being done. If Soldier Boy had needed to reload and hadn't had some taken off him from that initial explosion, I think it might have been rats for Homelander. I'm not gonna lie, I think Homelander would have been done. But he gets away, lives to fight another day, and we'll see what happens, I think, in the season finale next week. But my. Interesting narrative there, and then of course the story between Mother's Milk and Soldier Boy killing Mother's Milk's family, and kind of MM just kind of going through that, all the emotions, nearly sacrificed himself trying to fight Soldier Boy, but that'll have to come back later. However, him and Starlight kind of did that video at the end. She quit. She said, I'm ending January. I quit. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done being a pawn. Of course, Stormfront versus Vicky. It's just a lot. And it was all well executed. The Deep, I'm not going to talk about the Deep. I cannot. I actually can't talk about it. That was a madness. Not the first time, but it was a madness. Kamiko and Frenchie, please. Listen, the death flags are everywhere for everybody, but please, I know. It would rip the heart out and that would be good telly, but please let Kamiko and Frenchie just be happy. Please let them be in love and in happy. Please, in the sometimes world of the boys, please let them have happiness. That is my one wish, in the words of Ray J. What else happened? Kamiko and Frenchie, Herogasm, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Stacked episode. It was fantastic. If you're not watching The Boys, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Go watch The Boys. Miss Marvel, episode 3. It's pretty good. We're not going to talk too much about Miss Marvel, but it's not bad. If you're looking at me and you're like, Chris, should I give a chance on this show? I would say give it a chance. If you're gonna open up your mind to it, I feel like it'll be worth it. It's some pretty good storytelling, and especially if you're of like Desi culture, then this is the show for you because they've done a great job representing Desi culture, and even for somebody that's not of Desi culture and only knows and has friends of Desi culture, it's been kind of cool and kind of see that difference and then see them be able to have that experience and see the different elements and how it's woven in, it's just really cool to see. Really cool to see. It shows the versatility and diversity of the MCU, and it's done right. It's not like it's being thrown in your face, and it's like, hey, we're being diverse, we're doing this, blah, blah, blah. It's just having a show, and it's a good show with Desi culture as the background, and that's how you do it. I mean, that's straight up, that's how you do it. So, yeah, respect to Miss Marvel, and like I've said the past couple weeks, cast is absolutely killing it. Peaky Blinders, I finally finished it. Tommy Shelby, man. Tommy Shelby, bro, has no limits. He's just like limitless. He's limitless, just like me. Limitless. Just look, limitless. He's that guy. Tommy is that guy. But we knew that. That's nothing new. Tommy Shelby being the man is nothing new, and he was the man in this last season, which was pretty much all focused on him. Of course, spoiler alerts on all this, as it always is for a television show. But Duke, if they'd have brought him earlier, I think he'd have been a fan favorite. But you know what? It didn't really bother me as much. I know it's bothering a lot of people who I guess were a little bit more attached to Finn, but it's not really bothering me that much, and it's not unrealistic because Tommy is a whore. But yeah, it's, you know, not too much. You know, hey, he went in there, he had no business. You know, he got his initiation. It was sped up a little bit, but I don't mind it. Finn has not been, he hasn't been living up to John or Arthur, or definitely not Tommy, right? He hasn't been living up to what he is as a brother. He's been feeling very entitled as I'm a Shelby, so I get to do this. He hasn't put in the work. Duke came in and did more work than Finn did in 4 seasons. That's how it is. Duke is a true Shelby. Finn, he was a little bit of a pretender and he got booted. And Billy got smoked and put into the ground. Michael went out like a punk. Alright. Now I will say I wish Michael was a little bit smarter and a little bit more of a force than, you know, he was. And maybe that was influenced by Paulie dying. So, you know, that could have had an effect on it. I also could have, you know, sped up Duke's thing in conclusion. But, yeah, I wish Mike would have, I wish, because Finn Jones is a great actor. Well, not Finn Jones, but, I wish Michael Gray would have been, because him and Gina can be very, very interesting as villains, can be very, very compelling villains, and I feel like they were neutered a little bit. I feel like they got neutered a little bit. However, Mike did get his adjusted in, and, yeah. But I expect him to be a much, much bigger threat. Oswald is, oh my gosh. Oswald and Diane are just as, just easily hateable as they were in real life. And I just found out last week, by the way, that they were real people, by the way. But yeah, they're just as detestable as they were in real life, which is, just commend the actors. But yeah, Peaky Blinders, I think there's a movie coming up next. But fitting into the series, and yeah, it was just a terrific show. Lizzie was such an important piece. And just kind of his kids were such an important piece because it was so focused on Tommy this season. But yeah, Lizzie was fantastic. I sometimes wonder if he truly loved Lizzie, and I think he did, but Tommy is just so drunk, and he's truly in love with his mission. That's what he loves, right? Not the women, not his kids. He loves them, but he's driven. He wakes up. What puts the oxygen in his lungs is his mission, right? Which is filled somewhat a lot by his family, but his dedication to that is what kind of drives him, and also makes him a compelling character because by all means, Tommy Shelby is not necessarily a good man in the sense of a normal good man. He's a terrible father. He can, you know, sometimes be abusive to his, you know, family members like Arthur. But, you know, he also has the good parts. He also has a heart. He's not just this cold-hearted killer. Except for when he needs to be. So, yeah, Tommy, fantastic character. Cillian Murphy is a legend. And Peaky Blinders is an all-time great show, in my opinion. But yeah, if you haven't watched Peaky, I highly recommend it, especially if you like a period drama. It's fantastic. It's heat. Now, the NBA draft. We're going to let the Stanley Cup get the main event. We're going to talk about the NBA draft first. NBA draft, Paolo went number 1. Now, this pick went all over the place. It went from Chet is going number 1 earlier in the week, to all of a sudden it was set on Jabari, and Jabari's going number 1. And then on draft day, it was like, whoa, it's bomb. Paolo's going number 1. And I'm not complaining. I had them kind of interchangeable. I know we didn't do like a draft preview. I mean, we did a small one, but not like anything too intricate as we've done in the past. But I kind of had them on like a similar tier. It wasn't really any person I said was number 1. Felt like they were all kind of similar. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses, and they were all kind of interchangeable, which was kind of how it was expressed. Paolo goes number 1, well deserved. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to do in Orlando, especially with Jay Suggs. It should be interesting. Chet goes to OKC. They drafted over 25. I think it was closer to 29, but over 25. I can tell you right now, feet of wingspan in this draft. Everybody had over a 7'1" wingspan. It was insane. Presti has a type. He has a type. He gets Chet. Chet, unicorn. There's no comparison. There is no comparison for Chet Holmgren. And that's sometimes the most exciting thing about him, but also some of the most concerning things about him is that we haven't seen a Chet Holmgren. However, what really is going to come down to, besides just kind of his skills translating, of course, as we always talk about with him, is the weight. He does need to put some weight on, obviously, if he's going to bang with the Embiids and the Jokic's. However, the key is that he doesn't lose the fluidity and the athleticism that makes him Chet Holmgren and not just a normal 7-foot center, right? If he doesn't lose those things and he's able to get stronger, he becomes a very, very dangerous player. If he does, he's not going to be remembered besides, you guys remember Chet Holmgren, number 2 pick, back and back, blah, 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 blah. 1 or 2 futures for Chet, but OKC should be interesting. Him and Poku forming the Thin Towers. Jabari goes to Houston, and again, Houston, like I said, they were in the perfect spot. It's whatever. Whoever falls to us, it's perfectly fine. They pair Jabari up with Jalen, Jagup, and the rest of that young core, KPJ. Listen, Sengun. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Them and the Pistons, after this draft, have probably my 2 favorite young cores in the league. And of course, the Pistons, they went and got Jaden Ivey with the 5th pick, then went and finessed the Hornets to get Jalen Duren. So now they have Duren, Cade, and Ivy to go along with, Sadiq Bey, Stewie, potentially Killian Hayes if he can ever turn the corner. But really, Cade, Duren, Ivy should be interesting to see how they play. I think Cade and Ivy is a perfect duo, and I think they'll play off each other very, very well. Duren, again, a young rim runner who, has a lot of potential, is very, very young. He's only 18. He's going to be 18 till November, so a lot of upside with that team. I think them in Houston are 2 of my favorite young cores in the league, and it's fitting. The top 2 picks last year formed 2 of the best young cores now in the league. The Hornets get Mark Williams. That's all they needed. I said this all week. That's who it should have been. They got their man. They did get finessed, but they got their man. Shannon Sharp to Portland should be interesting with Simmons and Lillard. However, that could be a good environment to help nurture him. Of course, we haven't seen Shannon Sharp, but we know that upside. If he's able to deliver on it, he's going to be a star. Interesting situation. We'll see if that's able to keep Dame there, but I don't know. But Dame is forever loyal to Portland for whatever reason, so probably will be. However, it would go a long way if Sharp develops into who Sharp could be. Speaking of Dame, of course, he posted that KD edit because Kyrie might be leaving. And if Kyrie leaves, KD leaves, and if both of them leave, then Brooklyn's going to be very, 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 very bad. And keeping up with the draft theme here, you know who owns their next 6 first-round picks, pretty much? The Houston Rockets, who already, as is, have an unbelievable young core. If KD and Kyrie leave and the Nets suck, they have 6 very, very good first-round picks in which they can just hoard some of the best young talent in the world and what looks to be a good row of drafts coming up in terms of talent. Masterclass. Absolute masterclass. We'll see what happens with the Nets, but it's not looking great. NHL, Stanley Cup Finals, Game 6 is tonight, but we'll turn and talk about Game 5. The Lightning, after they looked like they were down and out, the team of death, as I have deemed them, have struck him back, right? The Reaper said, I'm not going away yet. How many times have we talked about Palat getting a game winner in this playoffs? I feel like it's been every single episode of the NHL playoffs that we've covered. I think I've said with the Lightning that Palat had a game winner because he had another one in Game 5. And now it's 3-2. Of course, Colorado was up 3-2. And they could finish it off tonight. But Palat, Vasilevsky played out of their mind. Cooch has been teeing in. Tampa Bay is back. They're back in that groove. They are in their elements. And they seemingly seem to be not ready to end the season yet. They're looking to take this all the way. Now, we'll see what happens tonight. Cale Makar has been Cale Makar. But Colorado needs to... They've been reeling a little bit. They got hit, and they're currently stunned. Like it's boxing, right? Got hit with a good shot. They've been stunned. They got hit again. They haven't been able to recover. They need to recover tonight. I'm not saying they need to win Game 6, but you got to feel a lot better about your chances tonight than in Game 7. Game 7, Tampa Bay now has all the momentum going into this. I think pulled off, 3 straight wins that would be? They're going to be feeling themselves. Going for a reverse sweep just about. You can't let that get to that. You cannot let that get to that level. You cannot. So, yeah, Colorado needs to strike back. Need team of destiny. We'll see. Because right now, Tampa Bay is looking like, once again, the team of death. But we'll see. We'll see. Game 6 tonight should be very, very interesting. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a roundup of episode 99. And, well, we had a UFC fight night once again this week, of course, in the build-up to UFC 276, what we're going to talk about. Yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov, another one. And he looks good, and he can strike, and he can grab, just another one. Umar, he's that guy. He's that guy. What could be? He's 155 and 170 are just disgustingly stacked. You really could do a top 20 for those. It's just incredible. The main event also for this definitely showed up big time. Gamrot and Sir Sakayan. Gamrot got the win. Interesting call. I'll let y'all debate that. But, yeah, interesting call. Great scrap, though. UFC 276, however, of course, is this weekend. And this is a big one, of course, because the Style Bender and Volker fighting, that's 2 and 3, probably pound for pound. Kamaru's number 1. Then you probably have Style Bender or Volk in whatever order, 2 and 3, and well-deserving. So, Style Bender faces his last Infinity Stone of the great middleweights, and that is Jared Cannonier. Can the Killer Gorilla beat the last Style Bender? I wouldn't bet on it. But anything can happen. It's the UFC. Anything can happen. It's MMA. I wouldn't bet on it, but it should be a pretty good fight. It should be a pretty good fight. I don't know. It's Izzy. He's that guy, but I don't think he's going to smoke Cannonier. I think Cannonier could definitely make this a fight and could win, but I wouldn't put my money on Jared Cannonier. Should be a good scrap nonetheless. Volk Alex 3, I don't need to tell you that this is going to be a good scrap. Of course, Volk won the first 2. First one was a little bit questionable. Second one was more, yeah, Volk won it. We'll see what the third part has. It's interesting because not often do we get trilogies out of, fights where one fighter won the first 2. But there's seemingly nobody else on their level, right? Volk has smoked everybody else that's not Max. Max beat everybody that's not Volk. So here we are once again for the 3rd edition of this rivalry. And yeah, they seem to be the 2 best in the world at the division. So, hey, it is what it is. And arguably the 2 best all time in that division. So yeah, a treat. Legacy-wise, this is a very, very important fight for both of them. Volk wins this. He leaves no doubt that he is the GOAT at the division. Max wins this fight. Then it's Max is back. He's the GOAT. So it's really both of them going for the GOAT in the division. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Volk Max 3 should be exciting. We also got Alex Pereira, who is getting a boost on the card because of his history with Izzy. Izzy is welcoming that smoke, by the way, against Pereira. If Pereira is able to beat Sean Strickland, he said, fine, let's do it. The quote-unquote black mark in Izzy's resume, Alex Pereira. He's welcoming it here in the MMA ring. We'll see what happens. I want to see Alex get a couple more wins before he gets to the Style Bender, though. But I know the UFC will market that and push it, whatever. But should be a good kind of level tester. Sean Strickland can go. He's going to strike with. He will strike with Pereira, which could be very, very dangerous because Alex Pereira is one of the greatest card boxers of this era. So, he could be playing a dangerous game, but nonetheless should be interesting. And the Sugar Show is also back on UFC 276. So, yeah, should be a great card. Superstars all over the card. Should be interesting. And, of course, we'll talk about that depends on what kind of episode we got next week, right? But we're probably going to talk about that on episode 100 of the 815 Exchange. Now, going over to soccer, and then we'll talk about recruiting. Sadio Mane, Gareth Bale, Mane to Bayern, Bale to LAFC. Those are the two big stories. Gabriel Jesus also goes to Arsenal. But Mane to Bayern, I think I talked about that a little bit next week, kind of brewing up. But yeah, insane there. Bale goes to LAFC. Huge news. Yeah, they got Chiellini, they got Bale, and they got Vela. And they got Bale not even on a designated player contract. MLS bending the rules for LA just a little bit. But it should be interesting to see Bale, and hopefully he doesn't get too drunk off of the golf courses in LA and get too preoccupied. Because it should be very, very interesting, because he's still a very capable player. Not the player he once was, but still a very, very capable player. And should be fun to see him in the MLS. Hopefully he comes over to Charlotte FC and we can see Bale play us here in the 704. Recruiting. We'll go basketball first. Rob Dillingham commits to Kentucky. No surprise there. All right, Rob, great player from NC, from the Hoop State, now living out in Cali and repping Cali, playing for Donda. Rob, I'm not surprised. I think everybody in America knew he was going to Kentucky. Great player, great scorer. He's a bucket. That's Rob. Arch Manning, #1 player in the country for 2023, is going to Texas. Yep. So now every single 1,000 recruit that's been a quarterback has gone to Texas. Vince Young, Quinn Ewers, who is Texas' current quarterback, and now Arch Manning. Now whether Arch will keep that 1,000 rating and even keep the #1 overall ranking, time will tell, of course, with Malachi Nelson breathing down his neck, also Nico, also Dante Moore, also Carmani McLean. It's a stupid stat class, by the way, in 2023 for football, by the way. So we got some good freshmen coming in next year. But Arch to Texas, that changes things and puts some energy. It's the big domino to fall. So I think we're going to see a lot of recruitment, a lot of recruits kind of start to commit now that Arch has made his decisions, because now teams are going to go elsewhere. And now players are like, okay, the quarterbacks have all made their decision. Let's file kind of under, right? Whether we're going to Tennessee or Bama or USC or now Texas or Ohio State to play with Raiola in 2024. We'll see. But yeah, big domino falls there with Arch going to Texas. Yeah. I'm not going to say Texas is back, but that could be, a big catalyst. We'll see. Sark, he got his guy. Let's see what he can do with it. Of course, they got Quinn Ewers there now. So it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, going to the SEC was still a stupid move, and you're probably going to cannibalize yourself, but you're going to be playing in some big games very often. We'll see if Texas can handle the pressure. We'll see if Arch is who Arch is supposed to be. Can he live up to that last name? But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. Episode 100 next week. Big episode. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Pretty cool. 99 episodes in. 100 straight weeks next week. So, yeah. It's been a blessing. It's been fun. I'm going to some fun you guys for, nearly 2 years. So, channel continues to grow. And hopefully this continues to stay the same. As always. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 99. And we'll talk about, like I said, stacking the team segment. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, for episode 99, Ocho, signing off.